Alright guys, Mr. Singh here, and in today's video I'm just going to show you how to make Indian masala tea, which basically is just an Indian take on a cup of tea, but it's got some herbs and spices in, which makes it nice and warming, and obviously we've had some really cold nights and some really cold weather recently, so I think that you might enjoy a bit of Indian tea. It's nice and warming, like I say, keeps you nice and hot, and it's also very tasty as well. So without further ado, right, so the first things you'll need, obviously the ingredients, you can see the packets here. So you've got green cardamom, star of anise, fennel seeds, that's optional, just depending on how you're feeling. You need about 1 inch worth of ginger, which I've chopped up here so you can see. Cinnamon stick, which when it's all ground up nicely into the pot, it gives it a lovely warm and sweetened flavour as well. So that's the ingredients here, and you've got some clove there as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is just grind these up. The ginger I've already chopped just for quickness of the video, and obviously the tea bag. Now traditionally you would normally use loose tea, which you can buy from the shops as well, but for the sake of not having any, I'm just going to use normal tea bag, right? Okay. Right, so there's 2 ways you can do it. If you like things extra creamy and milky, you can start with putting the milk in the pan first, but I'm just going to go with water in first. So you don't need to measure things exactly, you just go by what you're feeling, how much you think you need. It's called winging it, right? And that's what I'm going to do. So you get your water on the boil, let that get going and get warmed up. I've warmed the water up in the kettle, I've boiled that already just for quickness sake. So next, in with the herbs and spices, not really herbs I guess, just spices. Tea bags in, crack the old cardamoms, get those in. If you've got a pestle mortar, you can just use that, or you can just use your thumb. Just open it, leave the seeds in, and then just get those in. So whack those in, get them bad boys in there, bit of ginger, right? And you need this to cook slowly. You can put it on a medium to high heat, but cinnamon in as well. Get that all cracked, put that in. So get all the ingredients in the pan, give it a nice little stir, keep it on medium to high heat, let it come to the boil. And what you want to do is you want it to come to the boil, and then once it gets to that sort of stage, it's obviously nice and dark, you can see the tea bags are sort of infusing with the boiled water nicely, giving a chance for the herbs and the spices to sort of mix, combine and become very aromatic. If that's the right word, I'm not too sure, you'll have to ask Mrs. Graham. She's got all the cooking terminology. Right, so once this gets to the sort of boiling temperature here, like you can see all the water's bubbling here, you want to turn it down to a lower heat and just let it simmer for 30 seconds to a minute or so. It kind of locks the flavours in. Do that once or twice, and then we're ready to add with milk. For this sort of Indian tea, you don't want to use any skimmed milk or semi-skimmed, you've got to go full fat. It's got to be whole milk, or you can use like cream, but whole milk probably gives you the better taste. And obviously it's a bit healthier than the double cream. Okay, so blue milk's your go-to for this recipe. Don't be shy, get it in. And once you've added your milk, obviously it'll cool down a bit, and then so just give it a little stir, get all the flavours going, get them all combining, and then just let that sit. Put it back to medium-high heat, and then once it reaches the boil, we'll go through the next steps after that. In the meantime, you want to get your sieve and your mug, so that when the tea's done, you're ready to pour it in, and obviously sieve out all the spices and stuff like that. Just whack them there. Wait a few minutes for this to get done. It does take a bit of time, 5-10 minutes or so, just depending on how strong your gas is. Put the lid on just to speed up the process, trap the heat and get it cooking faster. Back in a tick. It's almost getting there now. I'll show you that so you can see. It's almost coming towards a boil stage, which is obviously what we want. The tea bag's obviously, the longer the left in, the stronger the tea becomes. So if it gets to a stage where it's getting too dark for you, you can take the tea bags out. But I like to have a strong tea, but then add more milk in to sort of counter that. So you get a strong taste, but a milky taste at the same time. Just depends on your personal preference, guys. So it's getting to that lovely hot boiling stage now. And you just let it sit there, and obviously take it off the heat a little bit before it overflows. Make sure you're doing this with some supervision, guys. Health and safety 101. And then once it settles again, you put the heat on high again, and you do this process for a good few minutes, and this really locks the flavours into the tea. So you bring it up to a really high heat and a high boil, and when it gets to that stage of looking like it's going to overflow, then just turn it down. Kind of really brings out the flavours and all the spices, locks it in. So you get it there. So it brings it right up the top, and then just drop it off. Whoa, the skills on that, guys. And you can see that tea's looking really good. Give it a nice whiff. It smells really nice as well. And obviously you can add your sugar in at any point, really. It doesn't really matter. People say the sweeter the Indian tea is, the nicer it is, but obviously for those who can't have too much sugar, like myself, being diabetic, I have mine without, or just maybe a tiny touch of coconut sugar, which is a healthy alternative to your normal white sugar. So I'm going to do this one more time, bring it up to the high boil, and then put it down. Then I'm going to sieve it out, and then just carefully pour it with your sieve. Might want to get someone to do this for you if you haven't got a steady hand. Catch all the goodness in the sieve, put it back into the tea, and just let it sit, and that's it. There's your cuppa.